Now, there's a lot of black men in here, and I don't mean to, not talk to other people, but this is important. Our black men, we got to get them out to vote. That's number one. Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things last time to the black community that he did not deliver on. And we got to make sure we help black men understand that.
Black man with a Harris hat. Black man with a Harris hat. Black man with a Harris hat. Black.
Hey, black man, you voting for Kamala Harris? Because you know Obama told you to. Let's talk about it. So yesterday, Barack Obama decided it was a good idea to come out of his house, save Kamala Harris's sinking ship in Pittsburgh, and talk shit about Trump for a few minutes, and then gather a bunch of black men behind signage that says black male voters and basically tell them, you better vote for Kamala Harris. The numbers are not looking good, and especially amongst the brothers. You guys supported me when I was running, and I expect you to support her. I expect you to vote for Kamala Harris. It's the audacity for me. First of all, you can't tell any black man what to do ever. That's first of all. Second of all, when is he massa? When is he gonna think that he could go in front of a bunch of black men and tell them what to do? Like, is that what we're doing right now? Like, who made him in charge of what black men do or don't do? So the small percentage of black men who were either going to vote for Kamala Harris or were leaning and undecided but leaning towards her, they're absolutely not going to vote for Kamala Harris. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to vote for Trump, but they're for sure not voting for her.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the current online civil war to get black men to vote for Kamala Harris, okay? Ever since Obama came out and tried to shame black men into voting for Kamala Harris because she's black, okay? And if you don't vote for her, then you are a sexist, okay? The brothers got to vote for the sisters, got to support the sisters, right? Soul sister number one, Kamala Harris, right? The Indian woman, okay? A lot of black men have spoken out about this and said that, hey, we do not want to be forced to vote for Kamala Harris, okay? We want to try something different. Black people have been voting for Democrats at a 90+% clip since the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and we really have not gotten good results to show for it, right? So maybe it's time to try something different, okay? We all know that under Trump's economy, okay, that under Trump's leadership, that this country was in a much better place, not just for black men, but for everybody, okay? But that does not stop the Kamala stands from coming out here and trying to fearmonger people with propaganda like, for example, Project 2025. Take a look.
OMG! This Project 2025 is scarier than I thought. These creators have been thinking long and hard about disenfranchising folks, and on day one, they will do it. Agenda number 2, dismantle the administrative state and return self-governance to the American people. According to Kevin Roberts, the president of the Heritage Foundation, they must muzzle woke propaganda at every level of government. The DOJ would serve the needs of the president and not the people. On day one, he could make unions illegal and then proceed to fire federal workers without cause. They would then be replaced by loyalists to do the president's bidding. Uh-oh. They want to close federal agencies that reflect the woke culture. Homeland Security, EPA, FEMA, and the Department of Education are all on the chopping block. They want to privatize the VA, TSA, HUD, and the CDC. And the Human Health Services would be legally empowered to track women. That's TMR. And none of your damn business. Right? OMG. Call me crazy, but the woke culture that they seem to hate is everybody who isn't a white heterosexual male with Christian leanings. They want to go back to the time when the white man ruled and everything was stacked in their favor, while everybody else suffered in silence and knew their place. OMG! Can't we all just get along? If we don't vote for Kamala and vote blue up and down the ticket, America will be Trumpland and he will rule for the rest of his life. But who am I? I'm just the crazy black woman.
Yeah. So this is the type of propaganda they're putting out, okay? No doubt in my mind, probably, allegedly, paid Kamala Harris operative, okay, to put out that type of propaganda. In my opinion, that type of propaganda, I mean, let's be honest. The things that she was saying sounded pretty good to me, right? This is the crazy part about it, right? The more I listen to the propaganda, I'm like, you know, these seem to be very good reasons to vote for Trump, right? You know, I feel like I kind of agree with a lot of these things. But anyways, you have a rapper by the name of Lord Jamar who's speaking out, okay? Because not everybody is falling for this propaganda, especially the fear mongering, right? He's saying, listen, we are not going to be fear mongered into voting for Kamala Harris this time around. And he went on record to express why he may vote for Trump because of all the fear mongering. And I found the way he articulated this to be perfect. And I want to talk about it, but before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Noble Gold. Are you worried about the future of the U.S. economy? With so much uncertainty in the air, it is natural to fret about the security of your retirement savings. However, there's one asset that stands the test of time, and that is gold. For centuries, gold has been a hedge against market volatility and economic instability. With a gold IRA from Noble Gold Investments, you can harness the power of precious metals in order to secure your financial future. By rolling over your existing IRA or 401k into a self-directed gold IRA, you can enjoy the potential for long-term growth and stability. Diversify your portfolio with a tangible asset that has real value. Setting up a gold IRA with Noble Gold Investments has never been easier with its streamlined process and expert guidance. This election year, do not let the volatility and uncertainty keep you up at night. Vote for the timeless safety of gold and silver in 2024. And Noble Gold Investments will give you up to 10 1-ounce silver Trump coins or a 10-ounce silver American flag bar if you open a qualified account. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com now. That is noblegoldinvestments.com. And just remember, there's a risk with every investment and there's no guarantee of any kind.
People want to act like Trump is the worst motherfucker in the world, but guess what? He was already president, and all this shit you talking about didn't happen. He didn't make himself a dictator, and this whole shit about he's going to make himself a dictator is really taken so out of context that it's ridiculous. He said he'd make himself a dictator on the first day, to implement some shit. And then, but that was, trust me, said tongue in cheek. It was not said seriously. Y'all already living in Project 2024. Okay, you worried about Project 2025 when they already ran Project 2020 on you with the scandemic and all that fucking bullshit. Like, what the fuck are y'all really even talking about? Y'all trying to act like scare me into thinking that he's so bad that I should just vote for this broad just because. But guess what? I feel that she's so bad. She's the one that scares me. So I feel that she's so bad that guess what? I might just go around and vote for Trump. And this is my first time saying this out loud. But y'all motherfuckers think you're going to shame somebody or bully into voting for this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And now you're going to make me be Mr. Anti. You keep coming at me with this bullshit. You keep coming at me talking about, oh, it's a shame that you're not supporting a black woman. She's not black. She's Indian. She ain't black. Get out of here. And they're going to, listen, I don't give a f. Trust me, the sentiment on the street in the real world is a lot of people are not with this woman. They see right through her. And they're trying to blame it on black men, but no, I see a lot of black women that are not with her neither. This is her, again, being disingenuous. First of all, black people don't wash no damn greens in no tub. How unsanitary are you to be washing collard greens in a tub and thinking that that makes you more relatable. See, that's how out of touch she is, how stupid she is. She thought she was giving a relatable story to make her seem black. Oh, yeah. Oh, they want me to cook their collard green. They bring me all their collard greens in the neighborhood. I had so many greens, I had to wash them in the tub. You know? Just like she was in the, you better thank a union member. You better thank a union member. You know, she talking all black, but then when she get in front of the Spanish people, they said, I love you, Kamala. She said, I love you too. I love you too. Then when she gets in front of the white people, you know, you better thank a union member for everything that you have because, you know, union members are very, you know, they're part of the economy. Like, who are you? Who are you? Trump is always Trump. I don't give a if you like him or not. He's always him. If he says he's going to say some arrogant shit, yup. He's going to say some arrogant shit. Sometimes he says some shit off the cuff. Yup. He does do that. But this motherfucker is a smart businessman. And I hate the people that say, oh, he's been bankrupt this many times. That's what smart businessmen do. First of all companies are not made to last. Some companies are made to be disposable. But y'all don't know that because you're not business people like that. You don't know, first of all, and people that are successful, you know how many failures they've had in order to be successful? Like, all your failures prep you for your success. Like, how are you going to say this man's a failure and he became the president of the United States?
Yeah, that was perfectly stated. Perfectly stated. Could not have said it better myself, right? I've been saying this. I don't think that a lot of black people in the streets are effing with Kamala Harris, okay? I mean, I'm just saying, they're just not. They're just not.
And sometimes there's a trend line that I never noticed before and make me go, whoa. This is one of them, all right? This is the Democratic margin among black men under the age of 45 in presidential elections. You go back to November of 2012, what do you see? You see Obama by 81. Clinton only won him by 63. Then we're all the way down to Biden last time around by 53. A tremendous drop already. And then you take a look at the average of the most recent polls, and Kamala Harris is up by only 41 points. That is about half the margin that Obama won them by back in November of 2012. And this, I think, is, you know, when Barack Obama goes in last week when he was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, essentially talking to young black men, he made it seem like it was a Kamala Harris specific problem. This is part of a long-standing trend of young black men moving away from the Democratic Party, and Kamala Harris is just the latest to face that magnitude of younger black men going towards the Republicans.
That was most interesting here is the trend line and where some of the biggest drops happened or already happened in this case. How about black men overall?
How about black men overall? It's part of the same picture, you know. We're looking once again at younger black men. It looks like the worst Democratic performance since 1960, since JFK versus Richard Nixon. It's the same thing among black men overall. Again, part of a similar trend, but here actually the drop-off isn't as dramatic, right? Barack Obama won him by 85. Then you see 71 with Clinton, 69. Biden, basically the same thing, holding steady. But here, again, very, very weak. Only a 54-point margin. Now, again, still winning them by a large margin, but considerably lower than what we're used to. Certainly considerably lower what we had during the Obama years. The bottom line is Kamala Harris with younger black men and then black men overall putting in historically weak performance for a Democratic candidate.
Is she getting any relief with black women?
All right. So, you know, we're talking about the trend line, right? And black women, look, she's doing better with black women than she is doing among black men. But here, there isn't a trend line almost until we get to Kamala Harris. So again, this is a black margin among black women. Look, Obama won him by 93, very large margin. Clinton won him by 93, a very large margin. Biden did a little bit worse at 85. But then you look here, and you get a 71-point margin. Now, again, these are large margins, but the bottom line is when you're talking about the base of the Democratic Party, you would think that Kamala Harris would do very well among black women based upon history, and of course she would be the first black woman president, but she's actually doing the worst for a Democratic candidate among black women since 1960, if this holds true.
She's not authentic, okay? These people can come out here and say, oh, you got to support a sister. You got to support Kamala Harris because she's black. And it's like, well, again, that's very debatable, right? I mean, I feel like Candace Owens has done a number on Kamala Harris when it comes to those claims that she's making about being black. I think a lot of people, millions of people, have watched Candace Owens expose Kamala Harris, and people had questions before the Candace Owens exposure, right? And after the Candace Owens exposure, I'm basically almost convinced that Kamala Harris is not being honest about her ancestry, right? So with that being said, playing the black card is just not going to work. But again, they play the black card because they don't have anything else. They don't have any real reasons why people should vote for Kamala Harris outside of her skin color, right? That's it. That's all they got. That's all they got. That and fear-mongering against Trump, which is not going to work because under his first administration, he didn't do all these things. So you're exaggerating, right? You're exaggerating. Is all hyperbole, is BS, is nonsense. Everybody knows that the country was in a much better place under Trump. And ultimately, you're not going to be able to push enough propaganda to convince people otherwise. You're just not going to, right? This is why it's not working. But what they're going to do is that they're going to continue to ratchet it up, right? They're going to continue to shame people. They're going to continue to call you a bigot. They're going to say you're sexist. Okay, they're going to continue to say that Trump is a Nazi, he's Hitler, he's a white supremacist. They're going to double and triple down on the fear-mongering, okay, and the race hustling, thinking that that's going to help them win. But I just don't think that it's going to work. I think they've spammed the card too much. They spammed the Trump derangement card and the race card too much. Notice how that's all they got. All they got now is the Trump derangement card and the race card. That's it. You got to support Kamala because she's black. If you don't support Kamala, then you're a bigot. Trump evil, right? Project 2025, Hitler, right? That's all they got. Because they can't run on Kamala's record. They can't run on the disastrous policies of the Biden administration. And everybody knows, again, that Trump's policies were just better. So again, when you can't compete on policy, this is what you do, right? And it's so funny how this works because the liberal media, these are the same people that were boohoo whining and crying when Kamala Harris first got into the race and Republicans were attacking Kamala Harris, okay, calling her DEI hire, okay, you know, basically legitimate criticisms of her, saying she's incompetent, right? She's not qualified. Well, you shouldn't attack Kamala Harris with personal insults. That doesn't work. You should stick to the issues, right? Now, fast forward just a couple months, Kamala Harris and the Democrats and the liberal media, they're not talking about the issues at all, right? They've completely abandoned the issues, and they're just launching personal attacks against Trump and the voters.
Can we please look at this picture of Donald Trump, and you tell me what kind of healthy this looks to you? Okay, so I know it's pumpkin spice season, but, you know, I want to show the Trump campaign, this is a makeup sponge. You use it to blend, because I think the biggest border crisis that Donald Trump is encountering at the moment is the border between his real skin and his drawn skin.
Right? But yet they were telling us a couple months ago, in order to win, you need to stick to the issues and not the personal attacks. Now, lo and behold, when these people are desperate to win, right, because they're losing, they're now launching personal attacks, which they told us a couple months ago doesn't work, right? Again, it's just hilarious how that works. Absolutely hilarious. They have absolutely nothing. They have nothing. And you know, because they're getting more desperate than ever. The rhetoric is ratcheting up to a whole new level, and people aren't falling for it anymore. People aren't falling for these exaggerations, the hyperbole. And I would go as far as to say that it's backfiring for the same reasons that were outlawed by this rapper. You're just pissing people off at this point, right? You're pissing people off with the gaslighting and the BS, okay? Trying to shade people into vote for Kamala Harris. Trying to fearmonger people into voting for Kamala Harris and against Trump. I think that people are so offended by this that they're like, you know what? I might just vote Trump anyways, right? I'm going to vote for Trump just because I don't like you, right? Which, I mean, you know, hey, I don't think that's the best reason to vote for Trump. But hey, if that's what gets the vote, that's what gets the vote. So like I said, keep it up, right? I want to hear more fear-mongering. I want more Trump derangement. I want more race hustling going into the election, right? Because this may be the key to finishing off the Kamala campaign. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.